Welcome back again, everyone. Today I'm going to be reacting to Celestial Symphony from the Black Myth Wukong original soundtrack for the very first time. I have not heard anything from the soundtrack yet, so I'm very excited to hear it. Let's get right into it. Hello again, and welcome back to Right Man in the Wrong Place. My name is Luke Tatum. I react to music. Today, I'm very excited because you're here and we're going to listen to some music together. No, but I'm also very excited because we're going to listen to Black Myth Wukong's soundtrack. Black Myth Wukong, amazingly successful game, huge step forward for the Chinese video game industry. And I haven't played it. I have seen footage of it on things like Facebook Reels and stuff like that I have not had the audio turned on for. So I have heard, I don't believe I've heard anything, not even a tiny snippet of this soundtrack. I certainly don't remember hearing anything from this soundtrack. So Black Myth Wukong, of course, came out in 2024. It's a very recent release still as of this recording. And the composer was just listed as 8082 audio. And anything I could find on that, I couldn't even read. It was in very much Chinese. So I don't know anything about that, like who is involved in 8082 audio. Of course, I do want to make a comment here because a lot of people were getting this wrong when the game came out. I saw this kind of chatter online. Black Myth Wukong is clearly based on Journey to the West. It's Journey to the West, which is a 16th century Chinese novel. I think that's the Ming Dynasty, if I'm remembering what I read a little while ago. It's when that came out, during the Ming Dynasty. And so we're talking a very old novel, okay? People said that Black Myth Wukong was ripping off of Dragon Ball and stuff like that. It's just completely wrong information out there. So Dragon Ball was inspired by Journey to the West. It was a wonderful video game. I really liked it, called Enslaved Odyssey to the West. It's also very much inspired by Journey to the West, the 16th century Chinese novel. So that is the origin of all this stuff. It's a very well-known thing that has heavily inspired a lot of media over the last several hundred years. So just want to clear that up. But yeah, 8082 audio. I've done enough talking. Let's get into it. I'm super excited. I assume we're going to hear some kind of symphonic piece, but I really don't know. So I just know that people really like the game, really like the gameplay, and I haven't done it yet. I haven't played it yet, so I don't know. Let's go. Let's listen. Okay, so very ambient right now. Feels like something very grand. Just these opening kind of chords and everything, and the strings. There's a lot of tension here. This is not a nice major key procession march type piece. It's very, I guess it kind of fits the video that I can see. You've got this mist-covered landscape. You've got looming figures in the back. It's very intense. There's a lot of pent-up pressure here, and I'm expecting it to kind of boil over and turn into something. I don't know if this is a combat theme or a boss theme or a exploration theme. Like I don't know. Honestly, I just picked this because I saw that other people had done reactions to this song. So I don't know. Let's keep going. It is kind of keeping a rhythm. It's just a very, very slow rhythm. Okay, okay. Okay, okay, so it's kind of like disco in there. There's a little bit of a disco effect. I don't know what to call that. You know what I'm talking about? Boo-da-boo, boo-da-boo. That kind of like percussive sound there. I associate that with very much disco music. I don't know what that's called. Um, I like the more complexity that's come into the strings now. I like that we've got a lot more texture and depth coming in. I wish this particular recording was a little louder. Might see if I can fix that real quick. 1 second, please edit this out of the video. Oh yeah, it's over here. Okay, I am going to back this up a little bit. Sorry for the cut there. I was turning up the system volume so I can hear it a little better. Um, see if I can catch some more of the detail in this. Ooh. Okay, okay. We've got to back this up. We're gonna have to back this up a couple of times, probably. Really nice kind of use of Chinese instrumentation there. I know the name of that instrument, that very traditional Chinese sound. I know what it's called, and I just am completely spacing out. So perfect time to not remember what that is when I'm doing a reaction to the Black Myth Wukong soundtrack. Very nice. It's tastefully done. You know, it's brought in. So if you've ever played the game Okami, like there's a lot of traditional Japanese instrumentation in that game. And that's the whole soundtrack, man. Like it is from start to finish, a whole lot of that. And there's a lot of tracks on that soundtrack and it's beautiful, but it's very like dwelling in this one defined space when it comes to the sound textures that are in there. There's a couple of variations, but we're talking like I think it's a 4-disc soundtrack that's just song after song after song with traditional Japanese instrumentation. This is more what I would consider to be like a Western symphony or a orchestral piece. In a lot of ways, it sounds that way, but there's definitely Eastern flavor here. There's definitely the Chinese influence present in the music, and I'm sure it was written by Chinese composers. I like I say, I don't know the details on 8082 audio, but um, you know, I know that this is from a Chinese place. You know what I'm saying? Probably not the best way to say it, but that's hopefully I'm conveying that okay. But this is not only locked in on Chinese instrumentation. That's what I'm trying to say. It's not only traditional Chinese instruments. It's not trying to force a kind of perspective, if that makes sense. And I really like it. I really like it. So far. I'm going to back it up, I think about here. And there's a lot of things that started to happen. It's almost like the sound quality matured a little bit in this last few, last minute here. Okay, here we go. Okay, so I didn't expect that kind of double time. We had this nice kind of miniature interlude where we have the female vocalist coming in. And for a split second there, it was almost like Assassin's Creed type vibes. Not really, but I did have that thought for just an instant. Um, really appreciate how much is going on. This is a relatively short piece for like a sweeping orchestral foray, 4.5 minutes, just about, and we're about halfway through. And but there's already been a lot of things that have happened. There's a lot of audio textures. They don't overstay their welcome. They're coming in, they're doing their thing, they're backing off. It's this maybe is more like an overture type piece where we're sampling some of the different flavors of the music that'll be throughout the game, throughout the journey, the story that's being told. And it's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. There's a lot of really interesting kind of phrasing in the melody that, again, it instrumentation wise and stuff. There's a lot of what I consider Western, orchestral elements, but the way that the main melody kind of plays out, I'm not a music theory guy, so I don't know that I can articulate this, but it just kind of it lilts a little bit in a way that sounds more non-Western, if I can say it that way. Let's go. This is more of a march here, a little bit. With the double time, it's a little bit more militant. Nice mix up there. I didn't expect that jump up an octave there. Beautiful. Do y'all like tambourines? Okay, so if you're a longtime viewer of this channel, I like to talk about percussion instruments, and I'm a drummer and all that. I was in percussion in high school, and okay, so that little rattling sound, I'm gonna back it up right there. That is a tambourine. Tambourine. You've seen people, 80s bands and stuff playing the tambourine. They tap, they shake it, and they tap on it, strike the tambourine. And that's kind of how you get this rattling sound. It's little bitty cymbals. I'm going to call them cymbals, suspended on a bar, a couple of cymbals on each spoke of the ring, if you will. And then you've got a drum head stretched over it, which is, of course, an animal skin or some synthetic replication of an animal skin, depending on what you buy. And so you've got this tambourine. It's open on one side, animal skin or whatever on the other, and then you've got these little things like castanets, kind of little cymbals that rattle together around the edges. And so you shake that, it makes kind of a little metallic ringing sound. if you're a concert tambourine player and you need to get one of those little things there, there's two ways to do it. You could drum on the tambourine, or you could lick your thumb and press into it and drag your thumb along the edge, and your thumb will kind of catch on the material and create that little kind of sound. There's a horrible, I can't make a tambourine sound, I'm sorry, but it kind of will catch and create that little roll type sound on there. You can play with your fingers, you can play with drumsticks or mallets or whatever, but it's a really good way to get that sound. It sounds, to me, it sounds a little better if you do it just with your thumb and use the tension against the drum head to kind of create this sticking sound that rattles the little cymbals on it. I'm sure they're not called cymbals. I'm, not being very good of a percussive expert now, but anyway, that's my tangent. I like tambourines, super cool. The only thing anyone ever does with them is shake in a song like a Beatles or a Monkees song. Um, but they can be used for some really interesting textures in music. I was not expecting to hear that tambourine here. So anyway, a beautiful song, absolutely beautiful song. Not to obsess over little details, who would ever do such a thing? But that was cool. Let's back it up again. I love this build. It feels like we're climbing a mountain. It feels like we're ascending into, more and more intense environments. I just picked a bad spot to start. Wow, it's high. Okay, okay. Some kind of more traditional style drum. Is that a synthesizer, that crazy high note? That was awesome. Is that the end? Oh my goodness. Okay, yeah, I think that's the end. Nice, very sweet little ending there. It's kind of a um, kind of an interesting way to resolve the song. It's in a couple of instances there, I heard something I would consider to be like in the vein of the Xenogears, Xenosaga, Xenoblade music. And, it's some of my favorite music in the world, Xenoblade in particular. But a lot of those songs, like title themes for those games, will start with this very soft, very gentle piano. It'll very slowly build into something. Some of the most recent Xenoblade games never even leave the piano. They're just pure piano pieces and beautiful. And this kind of, it's very ambient, builds into this kind of epic tale, and then you have this very soft outro. So it's kind of like the opposite of a Xenoblade song in a way. Um, very beautiful. I would love to hear more of this. I would love to know who the actual composer or composers are or is for this music, because 8082 Audio is just a brand name. I don't know who that is. But man, I mean, gosh, I say this all the time. I want to play this game. I have a bunch of games I'm in the middle of right now. I'm playing Persona 3 Royal. I'm, well, I'm not going to list them all. I'm playing a lot of games right now. So maybe one of these days, I still haven't finished Elden Ring. I've still barely touched Elden Ring. So, we'll get there one of these days. But it does look really good, especially the gameplay footage and stuff. It looks beautiful. The game looks beautiful. And the combat looks fluid and awesome. So I think that's about all I have to say on this one. I just really, really enjoyed that. This was not a request from any particular person. I just decided I wanted to do some video game music. If you haven't watched it, I did a video on copyright issues because those drive me crazy. And so I want to get some things that I know will actually make it to you. And that means getting away from some of those copyright problems with some of these bands and record labels that have problems. So I think that's all I have to say. Thank you all so much for being here. If you want to support the channel, Buy Me a Coffee is linked below this video. It's right below my face somewhere. And you can subscribe to the channel, become a member. There's lots of cool perks in there. You can also make a one-off donation if that's something you're into. Either way, or even if you just like, comment, share, subscribe, all those good things, I'm just happy to see you. It's great to be here with you, and I hope to see you again soon. Till next time, the right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.